It's officially spring launch week for Antisocial School, which means I'm extra caffeinated and watching very closely what's converting right now. Because here's the truth. The loudest strategies aren't winning. The flashiest tactics aren't scaling. And the businesses quietly growing this year, they're not going deeper, they're going louder. So inside this episode, I'm pulling back the curtain on the off social marketing strategies that are working right now, including long form blog content, smart aligned pop-ups, YouTube as a search engine, and segmented emails that actually convert. So no daily posting, no chasing trends, and no burnout marketing. If you want visibility that compounds, sales that feel natural, and systems that run in the background, then this episode is for you. Go ahead and hit subscribe, give this video a like, and let's talk about leverage over noise. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Crush the Rush podcast. It is officially our spring launch week for Antisocial School, which means two things. One, I'm extra caffeinated. Fun fact, I don't drink coffee. So it's like chai tea and Diet Coke. I tried to quit Diet Coke, but we're back. We're back on it. And I always say if it's the worst thing, then that's fine. But also I'm paying very close attention to what's actually converting right now. And here's the thing that I have seen over and over this year, and that is the loudest strategies are not the ones that are working. And the flashiest tactics are not the ones that are scaling. And the businesses that are quietly growing behind the scenes this year, hand raiser us, they're not doing more, they're going deeper. And I keep saying this on like every episode this year, but it's all about depth and not going wider and doing more. And so today I thought it would be fun in Antisocial strategy celebration to pull back the curtain on some things that have been working in terms of offline marketing strategies. So this is like off social media marketing strategies that are working right now. And this means we're getting really, really specific. And when I talk about this, I want to talk about like blog posts and long form content and smart pop-ups. This is a really fun one. Search engine platforms, segmented emails, and really digging into not chasing trends, not posting 5 times a day. And another fun fact, because this is recorded pretty real time, we just did a challenge right before this launch to hold you accountable to go offline. Like, can you go offline for 72 hours? And so I haven't really posted on social much at all, mainly because I've been busy doing other things and I don't get a big return on investment from posting on social. So I wanted to get into what is working for us in hopes that you could take something away and make it work for you. So I like to say that long form content is back, but in real life, I think it never left. And so I feel like this might be a little controversial, but writing long form content is not dead. Like, think about the early 2000s when like blogging was a thing. Those blogs are probably still making money on Pinterest. And I think with AI, the content is becoming so much more valuable. And I feel like if you're in any of our communities, I talk about this all the time. I feel like I'm like talking to my kids, I'm like saying the same thing on repeat, but it's a strategy that like you don't want to miss because it values your time, it values your energy, and it's so much easier to create content that lasts a long time than to create content that's just going to go away. And so why is it becoming more valuable? Attention in general is fractured, but search is very intentional. When you go into a platform and you start searching something, you're going to get an answer that answers your exact question. You're not scrolling, like waiting for something to pop up. So when someone Googles something or looks something up in ChatGPT, they're leaning in and they're looking for an answer. And when you show up, when you pop up, you're skipping the algorithm entirely. And this is really, really powerful. So a quick example is we have had a blog post that I wrote years ago. I'll give you 3 examples. One, I had one about leaving corporate. It's a favorite from 2022. I have another one that's from this summer about how we used vacation points to pay for our vacation in Hawaii. And then I have one from 2020. It's so old, about our morning routine, or my morning routine, which is so drastically different right now, but it consistently is bringing in ranks, which then is driving subscribers to our email list. And here's what's wild. Some of those people ended up inside Antisocial School or some of our programs, not because I went viral, because I answered their question very clearly. Like, they went in, they Googled whatever they were looking for, and I popped up, answered their question, and they're like, oh, this is someone that I can trust. She knows what she's talking about. And so to me, it's the long game. And so my key takeaway is I like to give like content prescription. So if you're one of my like one-on-one clients or you're inside one of our communities, I like to give you like a formula to follow. For me, I would love for you to write one long form blog post a month. And inside Antisocial School, of course, we teach you how to do this. We even created a GPT to do it for you. But here's what's important. It should be long. It should be like 5,000 to 7,000 words. It should have headings and bullets and a lot of value. Like, this is not just a summary. You should be able to learn something from it. And it should have a call to action for you to learn more. So it should be an introduction with a quick win. And then it should be like, hey, if you want to learn more, go here. The bonus to this is this pop-up strategy, which I'm obsessed with. And this is strategy number 2. It's smart pop-ups. Now, a lot of times when I talk about this with my clients, they're like, oh, but pop-ups are so annoying. I get it. They are. But if they're positioned the right way and it's something that's actually going to help the person, then I think it's a really, really great strategy. So here's what we started doing, and I feel like it's something that everyone should do. If you have a website, you should have pop-ups, but I want the pop-ups to be valuable, not just this like annoying thing. So we started using ConvertBox, and ConvertBox is specifically designed for pop-ups on every individual page on your website. So we use Kajabi to host our website, and Kajabi allows you to have like a pop-up on all of your blogs or a pop-up on all of your website pages, but you can't adjust them. Like, it has to only be one. And so what we wanted to do was be really, really specific. So if you're reading, let's say, a blog post about leaving corporate, you're going to get a pop-up that talks about, here's some resources to help you leave your corporate job. And the opt-in rate is much higher. So if someone is reading, let's say, about SEO or client attraction or podcast growth or social media alternatives, they don't get random opt-ins. They're getting something super, super aligned. So it's been really helpful because, one, it's growing our email list. Just last week, we were able to add 20 new people to our email list just from pop-ups alone on our website. And the open rate on these emails, because they go into a very specific funnel, is 65%. I did not make that number up. It is very high. These are aligned subscribers, right? Like, I'm not hustling to get people in. Like, it's very organic. They're coming organically to our website, and that's the design of the system. And so this is really, really fun for me because, one, it's leaning into content that I already have. Two, we can change the pop-ups to whatever we want. So we have one pop-up on our homepage, we have one pop-up on our press page, and they're all different. And if you come to our website a lot, we're changing them out all the time. So it's kind of like this like fun, you never know what you're going to get. But then if you're reading our blog, because you're coming from ChatGPT or Google, the pop-up is very aligned with what you searched with. Now, this sounds like a very robust strategy, but we're just using the software called ConvertBox. And the one thing that I like about ConvertBox, I am not an affiliate of any kind, is they have a one-time payment plan. So you pay one amount, and that's it. Like, you're done. Like, you don't ever pay for it ever again. And so it's been really fun to sort of track where people are coming from and to really optimize our website as our home base. And this is exactly the kind of strategy we go deep into inside Antisocial School, is building funnels that make sense, which then leads me to number 3, which is YouTube as a search engine. So in case you need a reminder, YouTube is not a social platform. If you are treating YouTube like Instagram, don't. But if you treat YouTube like Google, then it's a different story. So YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. People go there to learn, not to scroll. They are going into YouTube and they're searching for a very specific thing. Now, do my girls scroll YouTube shorts? Yes, but that's a different audience. So we'll talk about that later. But some of the fun things that we have done around YouTube is really started going deep with how do we optimize our content. So thinking through organic visibility, non-social media marketing, SEO for female entrepreneurs, and sustainable growth strategies. These are all keywords that we really started leaning into, which means we started ranking. And ranking means that your content works for you for a very long time. So again, we started being very intentional about our titles, our descriptions, our keywords, and that has made such a big impact. The keywords for us are organic visibility, things that I talk about on this podcast, non-social media marketing, SEO for female entrepreneurs, and sustainable growth strategies. So take the time to come up and think about what your keywords are and use them over and over and over again. If you are curious how to find your keywords, again, this is something that we teach inside Anti-Social School, but you can use ChatGPT to start and think about, what are people Googling or what are keywords for your business? You can also Google yourself or Google questions that your clients ask and see what comes up. So we started being super, super intentional. And then we started repurposing. So I record this podcast video every single week. And that's what we use for our content. We just repurpose it very intentionally in different places. And we started repurposing our shorts. And we're taking this podcast video and we're repurposing it into 6 or 7 different short videos. We used our strategy of keywords, key titles, and repurposing with intention, things that we teach inside Anti-Social School. And our short views, get this, in 30 days, we're up 900%. 900%. So when you think about what you're doing on Instagram and the results that you're getting, and the examples that I just gave you told you that our email open rates are 65% and our short views have increased 900%, and I don't even have to open my phone, that feels pretty good. So for me, YouTube, I can schedule. It's a search engine and I'm reusing content that I already have. I don't have to create anything new. And it's really not about going viral. It's about content that's going to last long term. And I always say findable is greater than being famous. So the other piece that I want to talk about in terms of YouTube is I do not have a team doing it for me. It is me. And these are very small, manageable updates that I'm personally managing to make this growth happen. Once we get to a certain point, will I hire somebody to do it? Maybe. But it feels very doable and easy to just make these little tiny tweaks where I'm seeing really big results. So our next non-social media marketing strategy is segmented emails. And this is a big one. I've talked about it a little bit on the podcast so far. But when you think about emails, make them super specific. Mass emails are fine. And those are great for newsletters or personal stories. But segmented emails are going to convert a lot more. So instead of blasting one message to, let's say, 1,000 people, or whatever your email list size is, let's look at who's clicking, who's watching, who's attending, who's opened, who's ignored, and follow up accordingly. So during this launch week for Anti-Social School, for example, there are some of you that have joined our challenge. You're getting a message. There are some of you who clicked but didn't enroll. You might get a different message. There are some of you who have just been long-term subscribers and followers, and you might get a different message. And the whole point is the context matters. The story matters. The specific follow-up matters. And does this take a little bit of extra time? Yes. But do the emails land different? Also, yes. It protects our list. It gets you a very customized human approach, which is something we talk about a lot. And if you're not interested in the Anti-Social School curriculum, you can totally opt out. You don't have to listen to our whole launch. And I think that's really important. You can sort of choose your own path of how you want to learn. And when your emails feel personal and natural, that's when you start to see really big results. So we actually did this very specifically for a launch with our Crush the Rush Club in December, which I did talk about on the podcast. It brought in over 5 figures, and I share that because it was just email and it was just segmented and it wasn't louder. I didn't post on social. We didn't have like a big launch team. It was scheduled. It was just smarter. We were just emailing people who had shown interest, and in return, it was very personal and converted better. And so what I love about all of these tools is I don't have to open my phone and everything can be scheduled, which gives me more time to think of new strategies. I don't know what's next, but to also dial in the ones that are working. And so why are these strategies working right now? The world is still very noisy. It's still very heavy. It's still very reactive. And so search-based marketing gives you clarity. Email gives intimacy. You're super personal with what you're sending. And long form gives depth, which might be my favorite word this season. Plus, the systems give you sustainability. And so everything that I just shared is what we built inside Anti-Social School. And so we don't teach you to disappear. We teach you to become very, very intentional. And Anti-Social School, personally, is one of my favorite programs. It's our signature program because your visibility plan doesn't rely on daily posting. It helps you figure out content that compounds and how to repurpose with intention, and then use email strategies that help you go deep, help you protect your time. And then you're replacing constant contact with consistent client attraction. And so the goal really isn't to market more, it's to market in a way that fits your life. And if you're thinking like there has to be a better way, this is it, right? Like there is a better way, and there's a very different way to do things. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to obviously think about some of the tactics that I've shared. Maybe it's segmenting your email different. Maybe it's pop-ups. Maybe it's thinking about YouTube or another search-based platform. But I want you to open your analytics and I want you to answer this. What piece of content has brought you the most traffic in the last 12 months? Really important question. Do you have a targeted pop-up or lead magnet tied to it? So if you have a blog post that's really popular, or you have a web page that you look up in Google Analytics and so many people come to it, like let's put a pop-up in front of it. And do you have a segmented follow-up sequence for people that are interested in things that have not purchased? That's where I would start, not with more content, but like leaning in to what you already have. So offline marketing a lot of time is not as exciting as a reel that goes viral because most people don't see it, but it's stable. And this year, I think stability wins. So if you want help building this kind of strategy, Anti-Social School is open, and we're going deep into SEO and email segmentation and sustainable visibility. And if you missed the challenge now sits inside Anti-Social School, where I'm teaching you all of this, plus our entire anti-social curriculum, which is basically a client attraction strategy, people coming into your world that runs in the background. So you can go to hollymariehaines.com/antisocial. And whether you join us or not, just remember, you don't need more marketing or louder marketing. You need leverage, and it starts with systems that go deep. So I hope you try one of these strategies. DM me, send me an email, let me know what's working for you, and I will chat with you next week.